Hey folks, this is Chi Baker from Portland, Oregon, and I'm in the process of building the outside trim for the windows of a tiny house that I built. And I'm affixing the trim and kind of making a box for it. And instead of kind of taking each piece and tacking it on, and you could do either. I think in terms of ease of installation, particularly if you've the windows for these windows, they're 10 feet off the deck, and so kind of going up and down the ladder multiple times, as well as trying to hold a piece and staple it in when you're up on a ladder, can be a little tedious. Certainly building the box takes extra time. I think overall it is worth it. It may take, all said and done, maybe an extra half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. So this video is a quick demonstration of what I have done, and hopefully will be helpful for those who want to do this and not go through the learning curve that I had to go through to make these. Okay. So, one thing I found is that one, map out what you're doing, so you don't screw up and drill more holes than you need to, as well as I label each of my pieces. So like this one, I don't know if you can see, it says bottom, and it has an arrow pointing in what direction. So depending on the wood, the grain, I kind of am a little particular about the angle, as well as sometimes it has to do with the bowing of the wood. So there's a wood shortage, at least here in Oregon, in Portland, and you've got to kind of pick through wood. I've been trying to straighten a lot of these sticks to make sure that they be somewhat square. So some of them are a little funky. Okay, so again, it's good. The first one I didn't plan it out very well, and I ended up kind of assembling things and drilling more holes than I needed to. So kind of what I did was, made a drawing and then figured out how to basically construct it. So the bottom piece has 4 pocket screw holes in them, and then the sides have 2 holes to fix to the top. And the top has actually no pocket screw holes, and this is what I found is the best way to fix them. Other people may have different manners. Part of it is, for this, you could drill down this way. It ends up scarring the wood up here, as well as if any water gets in, I want it to be able to drain and not collect. I actually fill these up with caulk at the end, and for that reason, you don't necessarily need to use exterior screws. I'm actually running out of exterior screws for these, so I'm using what I have available to me, which is, for this one, half exterior screws and half interior screws. Basically, the exterior screws have a nice coating on it. This is the blue one. This is a Craig one. This is a Milescraft one. Unfortunately, this is a square head, this is a star head, so you gotta switch your bits. I use the Milescraft pocket hole jig and found it easy to use. The directions aren't super great, so that's another learning curve. I might do a video at some point on utilizing it, a pocket screw. But the reason why, again, I'm kind of creating these boxes is that it's easier once you make the box. You just put it on the window and then you can tack it on, and it's pretty easy versus taking each piece and kind of trying to line it up and tack it on. I built these boxes a quarter of an inch bigger than the outside frame dimensions, and that gives a little bit of wiggle room. Basically, if it's too snug, you may get screwed, and all this stuff is going to get kind of caulked anyway, and so you know, that wiggle room will be fine in terms of weatherizing it. All right. So to start with, what we do is we do the bottom ones. So we take the two sides to the bottom ones, and part of the and I'll hopefully figure out put in the comment section. I built this little kind of clamping jig, and it's been super helpful in terms of securing things, and just you know, maybe if you've got an extra hand, which I don't, I only have two hands, ha ha ha. But maybe, you know, if you've got a partner who's going to help you kind of put these together, then maybe they can hold boards for you. But overall, this jig actually is super awesome. And again, it's something that I got from watching a video on YouTube. I've, again, labeled the directions of these, and so it helps with just aligning the wood, especially when you're tired. Just get a little squirrely. And then I've set my drill setting on 2. Basically, what happens if you have it on super high, you can push the screw through, which I've done a couple times by accident. Also, what ends up doing, it just kind of spins in place, and so you really don't need a high amount of torque to set these. It ends up working a lot better. So. And just because I'm kind of OCD-like, I'm going to be mixing one exterior with one non-exterior. So I'm actually going to put it so it's going to be a little easier to change that. So basically, again, like I said, is that the Milescraft and the Kreg have 2 different types of heads on their screws, and so unfortunately I've just got to be switching them in and out. So this is the non-weatherized one. Good. The glue sometimes will squeeze out, and just kind of strip it off. And when you're tired or you're dyslexic like me, again, drawing arrows is ridiculously helpful. Obviously you want to mark the boards on the inside, not the outside, so you'll never see them anyway, so it's fine just to draw them on. So I think these clamps are called toggle clamps. And on Amazon, I'll maybe put them in the link. You can you get a pack of 3 to be, and that's what the guy did. He had 3 of the clamps on, I think. If I will probably eventually order a 4th clamp and have it here. It's nice to have 2, especially when you're changing directions. It's nice sometimes to have that ability. You might ask why I'm doing this on the floor versus a workbench. A couple of reasons. One is the size of these. My workbench isn't big enough to accommodate. The second reason, and I did the other ones last time outside on my workbench, and it was alright. The other thing is that because it's Portland and it's fall, it's raining, and I didn't really feel like setting up a tent and then setting up my workbench and then doing all that. So. Number 2. And it isn't, you know, and I'm not a professional, so some people may have better ways of doing this, and if you do, feel free to comment. I'm always excited to learn more. I lost my train of thought. Alright, that's the bottom, now the top. And I've got an arrow that tells me which direction I want. So it's a top board, but it gives me the arrow points to kind of what direction I want this thing going. And you don't have to do glue if you don't want. Ouch. I just think reinforcing these screws is a good idea. Ultimately, you know, the frame is, in all intents and purposes, superfluous anyway, because you're going to tack it up and then you're going to have your siding up and then you're going to caulk it into the siding. So these things are going to be kind of super bomb proof at the day's end. But yeah. Again, I'm one of those over redundant people. Good old brother is. This one's squarer than the last. Well, decide how much you gotta pick through wood and find the one that's decent enough. How the world goes sometimes. Come on, baby. So I have more exterior screws coming. Thought I was ordered them in time, but Amazon's 2-day prime isn't always a 2-day prime. So it's actually, this one's going to become a 6-day prime. Wish you could get a discount. They don't show up when they say they're going to, but that don't work that way. Okay, last side. These last sides always seem to be the opposite. Partner, my baby's home. That's 2 screws. What's nice about having this on the ground is you can get good positioning and pressure. Come on, baby. Release. Led Zeppelin. There we go. That's the final screw. That's the frame. So again, super sturdy. And now you can just get up on that ladder, throw it on, then it rests and you just tack it in. And these pocket holes, it's probably not necessary, but I will end up filling these in with caulk. Some of the boards are already stained. These will get 3 coats of stain both on all sides, and then they'll be good and weatherized. Alright guys, hope this is helpful. Pocket drill, installation of outdoor trim boxes for windows. If you appreciated this video, please like and subscribe. And again, if you've got any comments on improving this procedure, please feel free to add those comments. Helpful comments are always appreciated. Negative, critical comments that don't provide any helpful feedback are not appreciated and not helpful. Alright guys, be well, be safe, and stay healthy out there.